Hello and welcome. This video is a character comparison for Musa. And if you notice something different about my voice, I do apologize. Kind of going through a little bit of a sore throat and cold. It's a common cold, but you'll be hearing a lot of it throughout this video. I know that this is a video that many people have been waiting for, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it and show you all the details. Here we go. Okay, first up is Musa. We'll go ahead and show you the skills that he has and all the enhancement details. So that's his introduction, and here we go. Let's jump right in. Okay, here we go, and all of Musa's skills. First thing I wanted to point out to you is that this guy has lots, if not every skill, will either stun you, knock you up, knock you down, bound you, or even I think it's daze. He has everything, I think, just about connected to all of his skills. So you can't go wrong. He's got a lot of good multipliers in there with Blinding Thrust and Rising Storm. So there's a lot to play with, and it's going to come down to damage and your personal, hey, I really like the visual appeal of that move. So let's go ahead and move into the enhancements for each of these skills so you can see those details as well. Here we go. Alright, first up is back kick. And we'll, as I always say in all my videos, we'll go around the wheel and show you all the enhancements for each of the skills. Now, if there's ever any skill that says that it does it 5 times or 4 hits or 5 hits, I usually try to click the preview button and just see if his default does actually show you that it hits 5 times or so. I found with Meiwa that it said it hit like 5 times and it seemed like it hit 4, or maybe I got that wrong. Maybe it's 6 times and it seems like it hits 5. But either way, as long as the damage is there, who cares? Moving on to Crescendo. Now, I don't mean to bring this class down, but he's got technical skill and he's got some damage to him. But when you compare Musa and Meiwa together, Meiwa seems to be graphically appealing in her moves. The visuals of it, of all the things that she can do. For poor Musa here, his attacks are quick and fast, not much graphic visual to it. There is something there, but if if you're out there in open PvP and you could just barely see anything because all you're seeing is this big explosion of graphics over your character and you just don't know what the heck is happening, well, maybe Musa is for you, because you'll be able to see what he's doing and move forward from there. So there's a positive. Let's see, moving on to Blinding Thrust. And Rising Storm. Very nice. And again, if you're new to these videos, I will point out where it says grants super armor. Some skills you are not able to do super armor in arena. So I will highlight them in red with the asterisk and let you know, so when you're deciding what skills you want to bring into a PvP arena, you'll be like, oh, right, my super armor isn't there, so let me choose these other skills. I also, at the end of the video, give you my top 8 skills that I recommend based on percentage of damage for all three of them, Musa, Blade Master, as well as Warlord. So you can look forward to that. And looks like we're on to Earth Splitter. As I do these videos, I am always trying to look for a way to bring it together a little bit quicker and faster, not drag it out, show you the information. If you see something that catches your eye, then you can always pause the video, read the details, or even print screen, pause it, print screen, print it out if you're trying to keep a record of, which ones you like and what the details are for each of the skills. So, alright, moving on to Squall. Yeah, like I was saying, look at that, max of 7 hits. And you have 2 times to use it, and that previous enhancement gives it to you for 3 times. Whew, that's pretty good. 21 hits. And it knocks your opponent up. That's almost like saying, lay down, I'm going to hit you 21 times. Alright, moving on to Retaliation. And I always like to point out whenever there's forward guard in one of your skills, and there is in this one. I had a guildmate that showed me the wonderful world of forward guard, and it's pretty tough. Oh, pay attention to this. Perfect counter. Look at that, 200 more %. And you can do an additional attack. This is really something to shoot for. And it doesn't look like you just need to level it up. I think it's 8 times, and you'll get it. So that's not so bad. When it gets much higher, it gets a lot tougher. But no, this guildmate and I were sparring, and his forward guard is just really something. It's almost like you see the guys that put up the shield, and you just can't do anything until they stop. So forward guard is definitely a good attribute that'll serve you well. Okay. Oh yeah, Serpent Fang. That's another reason I delayed on that. And Ultimate Serpent Fang. I mean, gosh, look at this. 200, 300% more damage? That's just insane. Yep, charge shot. It's pretty cool. Pulls out his bow and shoots you. Hold the skill button for a max of 4 hits. And it inflicts stun on hit. Gosh, I can see that one being used in arena a lot. It's like get you from a distance. So, moving on to Cyclone Slash. Yep, knock up on hit. Decent percentages. Did notice that for both characters they incorporated bleed effects, but I think that's for a lot of them, a lot of characters. They just throw in that extra bleed for damage. Who knows? Maybe if you check out all the details in the character you like to play, and you chain combo all the bleed effects and damage over time effects, it will really be the difference between winning the match quickly or just fighting it out. So, and there's nothing that your opponent can do. They can't, stop and patch themselves up from bleeding. Yeah, once it hits, it's on. Their life is going down. They can take a potion or try to heal, but if you're on them, nope, won't help. See, that's this one. Blooming Divide. Bleed. 20 damage for 3 seconds. Just keep on them. And thank goodness, super armor. And you can use it in arena. Yeah, applies 50% damage to Blooming Divide. Nice. Very nice. So I guess what I'm getting at is if you find a character that you like, you want to make it a main character, the Pearl Abyss is trying to say, alright, for those people that get all the way to the end for their skills, we are going to reward you. So, very nice. It's good to see. Endgame. Very, very appropriate name. 6 hits. Super armor. Can grab you while you're jumping. Knockdown and bound. Oh my. And a partridge in a pear tree. So it looks like we're coming to the end of it, of the skills. Hit one additional target on the last strike. Very nice. I can see that being a PvE favored skill. And of course you got Blade Mastery, which is your basic strike attack. And if you work in what lateral attacks are, I haven't really messed with that myself, but it's there. And here is the player versus enemy skills. So for what you're looking at, if this is your first time, is I've taken all of the skills and I've organized it according to damage percentage. So the highest damage percentage. So what you have is you have Rising Storm, you have Earth Splitter, and Evasive Strike all have multipliers attached to it. You could do Blinding Thrust as well, but I took it out because it has a MP cost. So if you are out of MP, which I can't really see that happening, but your choice, you can add that in. But all the ones that I chose are charges, so they'll be there when you need to use them, and there's no restrictions. Of course, this is just my top 8 that I introduced to you. You are, of course, free to switch it around and mix it up, but visually you can see that, okay, I see why you chose those 8, and Crescent Moon and Charge Shot might be, and even Divider might be ones that I might want to play around with, because they're still in the hundreds, and there's a slight difference. So, always your choice and your call, but here you go, and let's go ahead and move on to the player versus player top 8 skills. And here is the player versus player lineup. As you can see, nothing has changed. All of the ones that I highlighted green in player versus enemy is exactly the same as player versus player. And the same it goes. This is just my top 8 recommendations. You are free to change it up how you see fit. You may want to add nothing but ones that do knock up, or nothing but ones that just stun or daze. So your call, but visually, what I can tell you is the PvE and the PvP, they all hit pretty hard, and they're all the same, so nothing has swapped out or changed. So with that, that'll do it for Musa. We're going to move on to Blade Master. See you there. And now we're moving into more of the meat of the video, and that is what are Blade Master and Warlord like. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump in and show you all the skills for Blade Master and discuss all the details from there. I'll see you then. Here we go. Okay, just like Musa, we're now looking at the enhancement details for Blade Master. And we're going to go around the wheel and just show you everything that each of the skills has. So, may not discuss throughout the whole thing because all of them are unlocked. But, yeah, there's just not much to say at this point. Just looking at all the different enhancements that they have. We're on Rising Storm. You can see that some from Musa carried over into Blade Master, and they just upped the percentage damage. So if you really liked Musa's moves, then Blade Master is definitely for you. Let's see, moving on to Divider. That one looks pretty cool. And something else about this video that's different is they've already implemented the light stones, where they took all the light stones out of every individual character you have in your family and put it back into your mail or your inventory, and and then gave you a light stone slate that applies to the entire family. So it definitely decreased the amount of light stones that you need or you're going for, now that you only need 12, because there's 3 slates and you have the first one open to you, which is your whole family. The other 2 slates, if you didn't know, are for the individual character. So one could be family based, the next one could be, as I learned from my guildmaster, PvP based, and the third one can be crit based. So it's just as a suggestion. You don't have to do it that way. See where we're at. We're on Retaliation. PvP damage 666. That was something. Perfect counter. Very nice. So 200 damage plus 740 and 666. You may consider that. That's one of the things about these videos that I haven't dove into that much detail, because there's one more layer of detail that can be shown, and that is all of the enhancements and how it changes your base or your default percentage of damage, and what you can do, and how it might change from what I see, a super armor into a forward guard. So the skill may change. So I haven't gotten into that level of detail, as I felt this was enough for a person to say I like this character or not. So maybe we'll do something like that later on down the road. Some of these names are something else. Rest in peace. Look at that. Inflicts knockback and knockdown. The first time and the last time you hit him. Something else. Also notice that with the Mewa and Musa, they have the invincible skill where they jump back and just just can't touch them. Looks like we're moving on to the last one of Blade Mastery. Yep, it's the basic one. I think I do show you the Ascended Spirit, since this is for knowledge purposes and I didn't want to use my scrolls from Hadum to get him from 60 to 70, just to show you what I can already show you now, which is one charge, and there's the details. It is your heal and what the heal can do for you, and the enhancement info. So with that, we'll go ahead and move on to the next portion of the video, which is to show the skills, and here they are. So as you can see, you get 5 skills when you start out with Blade Master, and more than likely those transfer over from when you're Musa. And you'll also notice that 2 of the skills, if not 3, cannot be used in arena, so be aware of that when choosing. But overall, you can see that he's got some pretty balanced damage and good multipliers to him, especially when you unlock the remainder of his skills, which is outlined in orange. And he only has 1 skill that requires MP. So let's go ahead and move on to the player versus enemy skills and the top 8 that I choose for you. Here we go. Here we are. Player versus enemy. So now if you're jumping ahead to Blade Master and you're not sure what you're staring at, I have organized all the skills that you get according to the percentage of damage. So the area highlighted in green are the top 8 skills that I'm recommending for you to start out with until you get very comfortable with your character, and then you can mix it up any way you like. But Crescendo seems to be the is that right? Yeah, highest damaging skill that you have, because it has a ×3 multiplier. So that's 12,275% damage, all in one hit, and it knocks your opponent down. Can't get any better than that, except the rest of the skills are really nice. So take a look. Just once again, be aware of the skills that are bolded in red, where you're not able to use those in arena. But this is player versus enemy, so who cares? You're not going to take an enemy into a... Well, that's not true. Yeah, you're not going to take an enemy into arena, so that would be for the next slide. Player versus player. See you then. Here is the player versus player lineup, and I am pleased to announce that nothing has changed. The 8 skills I recommended for player versus enemy is the exact 8 skills that I'd recommend for player versus player. Of course, you are free to change it up as you like, but the way that this comes out, you can see that Evasive Strike is the skill that does the well, that is that true? 2, 4, 6, 3, 6. Well, maybe Crescendo will still squeak by on that one because of the ×3 multiplier. But as far as raw percentage, Evasive Strike has beat them all. So at 357. But last time I mentioned, just be aware of the red bolded areas that that does not work in Arena. So don't be surprised. Just plan for it and adjust your skills accordingly. So with that being said, that will conclude Blade Master. We'll go ahead and jump into the very last section, which is Warlord. See you in there. Okay, welcome to Warlord. So before I jump in and show you all his skills, I did want to say that I was telling a guildmate that Meiwa has been so impressive that if there was ever a comparison to do between Musa and Meiwa, I have a feeling that Warlord is going to be the comparison, and boy, Pearl Abyss hasn't let me down. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into Warlord and show you what makes him very awesome. See you there. Okay, first things first, owe you a bit of an apology. I try to get these videos out as quick as possible, so I do shortcuts, and that means I paid 50 mil in silver so I can convert my Blade Master into a Warlord, and that means all the skills are unlocked, so I'm not able to show you what you get starting out with Warlord. That you have to work to unlock the remainder of his skills. So sorry about that, but here is all the info, and I gotta tell you, oh my, look at that right at the top, heavy slam, 800% and 640 in PvP, very nice. Crescent wave, that's over 1000% for PvE and 900 for PvP. As you can see, they gave Warlord some skills that hit really hard. So this is that moment. And I'm excited to say I'm going to do a comparison video between the best of Meiwa and the best of Musa. And see, not exactly those, but maybe Warlord and Primrose. And see the best of the two, how they stack up side by side and which one seems to be the higher. But Warlord has definitely the one that I am going to choose for my family and level him up, and because of just the sheer damage output that they have given him. I mean, look at Finale. It's just 1000% right there. ×2 multiplier and 800 in PvP. Now, granted, he has 3 skills that don't allow super armor in Arena, but as I told you, for Musa, just about, look at that, everything is stun, knock up, bound, daze. He can chain. He can chain. If your opponent's on the ground, you can move right into the next thing, and the next, and the next. So no downside, just a lot of happiness when it comes to Warlord's skills. So we'll go ahead and move on to the details for Warlord and show you all the enhancements, and I'll see you there. Here we go. Alright, you've already heard me praise how impressed I am with Warlord, so let's get into all the enhancement details for his skills as we go around the wheel. It's just amazing. I like the very first skill, 800%. Whew, that one looks like serious pain. And I know that when I spoke about Musa in the beginning, I was like, nah, graphics, not very flashy, but if you're into that kind of thing, that's the guy for you. Well, when you get into Warlord, because he is a element of fire, I mean, they just do him justice. Every move he has, just lots of fire arcing and just wonderful stuff. It would be awesome if his weapon was on fire or his hands were on fire, but that's just a suggestion. We'll see what happens. But yeah, even the icons for each of the moves look really nice. So let's see, upper hand hits 7 times. Super armor, you can use it in an arena. Hooray! 165% PvP, but come on, it inflicts bound on hit. You can't go wrong. It's like keep bounding the poor guy or girl that you're fighting against 7 times. Well, I believe it's one hit that hits 7 times, but anyway. Crescent wave. Yep, forward guard instead of super armor. See? That's what I was trying to tell you. So now, if your super armor is now forward guard, you can take that forward guard into arena. And crescent wave is now one of those that you should consider. So instead of 3, now you're down to 2 skills that can't work very well in arena. This is what I was talking about, the details. Backdraft, very nice. Damage reduction, super armor, you could use it in arena. Very good percentages, 580 and 406. Very, very good. Wouldn't be surprised if I see some Warlord people in the arena. Oh yes, and burn, because he's fire elemental. Instead of bleed, you'll see burn effects, damage over time. Ultimate backdraft. Look at that, that is so nice. 200% hit damage onto what you already get, so that's 606% and 780%. Always do consider that when you're choosing what character you want to go with. And this guy is going to be the one that I choose for Path of Glory. I've come to realize that I need DPS characters that damage. I chose a balanced team, ones that defend as well as do damage and some that can heal. But now I'm realizing after so long of time, you just want all your best DPS people together and they will mow down the competition without you doing much. You can almost watch it like a movie. Backstep, very nice, invincible, and it inflicts stun on hit. Very, very nice. Moving on to Immolation. Look at that, creates days, ×4 multiplier. Wow. Very beefy. I would almost imagine people with this character trying to shoot for the red paint to really design his outfit so it looks like he's a fire mastery. Or maybe that's a little over the top, who knows. But that was just initial thoughts. I think he looked pretty cool decked out in red fire guard gear. Eruption. Nice. Additional attacks. It has a burn element to it. Very nice. Very expected. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. If your branches are owl, oh man, all the damage on top of what you currently do with Warlord, whoo! If you're not using owl as a branch, you really should. So with that, we're moving into Well, showing you finale, and then we'll get to Crescent Blade. So once again, as we end this section, we'll show you the player versus enemy top 8 skills, and player versus player top 8 skills, and that will do it. Oh, no, that's wrong. That won't do it. I will show you the comparison of who reigns supreme. I think you know. Out of the three, and oh yes, Awakened Spirit is your heal. You get 1 charge, and there's the details. So with that, let's go ahead and jump forward into PvE and show you what the top 8 skills are. I'll see you there. Okay, as you can see, here is the player versus enemy, and if you skipped ahead to Warlord and you're just like, what am I looking at? What I've done is I've organized all the skills in terms of highest percentage of damage. So what you're looking at in green is the top 8 that I recommend in percentage, highest percentage. So, but be aware that throughout that is 2 skills that you cannot take into arena unless I think it was Crescent Wave. I think it was where there was a enhancement that changes it from super armor to forward guard. So that'll just mean 1. Unfortunately, it's the highest damage but this is player versus enemy, so you really don't have to worry about that. You're not taking an enemy into an arena, but if you were thinking of sticking with the same ones, which we'll see how that pans out when it's player versus player, which is the next slide, but kind of got ahead of myself there. And here you can see that oh my gosh, look at that, five of his skills have multipliers. Very strong person. So let's go ahead and move into player versus player and show you that lineup as well. Alright, and here is player versus player, and I am pleased to announce that nothing has changed. It is the same top 8 skills that I recommended for player versus enemy, and all of that information that I gave you in the player versus enemy still applies for player versus player. Look towards Crescent Wave to change from your super armor to forward guard, and maybe I will not ask you to swap out circle slash for something else, because that's a ×3 multiplier, and yeah, that's not a very good move to take one of your hardest hitting skills out for something that does have super armor like upper hand, even though it hits 7 times. So you'd have to just do that analysis on your own and see which way you'd like to go. But once again, top 8 skills for player versus player is the same as player versus enemy, and it's all good news. So with that being said, let's move on to the comparison and see how they all stack up. See you there. Alright, now we're at the end of the video where I do the comparison between Musa and Blademaster and Warlord. So as you can see, Musa has a lot of skills for you to choose from, so you don't have to move up to one of the other choices if you don't want to. If you like having a variety, then Musa is for you. They certainly throw a heck of a lot. And once again, to summarize, throughout Musa, Blademaster, and Warlord, they all 3 are given every chance to stun you, knock you up, knock you down, daze you, or bound you. Very impressive for this class. So when you have all these skills to choose from, you know that you're gonna get something that will stun your opponent or knock them up or whatnot. So once again, very, very nice choice if you like controlling your opponent and making sure they can't touch you much. So let's go ahead and move on to the other two, and I'll see you there. Okay, here's the part of the video I'm pretty sure everyone has been waiting for, and that is, which person should I choose? We know that Musa is all around a good choice, but low damage, lots of tools to control the person that he's attacking, so minimizes him getting hurt. But now it's come down to Blade Master or Warlord. So I can tell you right away that Warlord just overall seems to have the most highest percentage damage with an 800. Looking at PvE, 800 for heavy slam. You got your backdraft at 580, your circle slash at 518, and your finale at 500. That's well, 2, 3, yeah, 4. That's 4 skills right off the bat, and then right below that is the Mayhem at 423. If you're like, well, that's all nice and fine, but what about PvP? I really want to know which one is better for PvP. Just look at Warlord has the multipliers. It's got 5 multipliers of 2 that are 1 that's times 4, 2 that are times 3, and then times 2. Look at Blade Master, 3 multipliers. That's it. So, and they're good. You got a times 3 and 2 times 2s, but you can obviously see that Warlord packs much more in terms of the highest percentage damage for PvP. You can see that Warlord has a lot more higher percentages, which is 640. You got a 447 times 3. You got a 400 times 2, a 300 times 3. So, no guess right there. Warlord definitely takes the crown for both categories of PvE and PvP. Where Blade Master would be the person you choose is probably, let me just check real quick. Yeah. The difference between the two is the number of hits. So Blade Master has more common hits of 4 and 5. Warlord has 1-7, 1-5, 1-4, and the rest are 1 hits. But they hurt when they hit. So if you're the type of person who likes technique, lots of hits, don't have to worry if you're going to stun them. You got that in the bag no matter which one you choose. But one is hard hitting, the other one is multi-hitting. So Blade Master is the one you choose when you want to hit multiple times. Warlord is the one you want to choose when one swing and you just want to put them down once. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and show the ending to the video with the 3 guys portrait. And I do want to say thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and all its details, and I will see you in the next video. You have yourself a great night. Bye now.